guys and gals. Last episode I was telling you that I wish I could show you what it looked like, the 5.3 with the sniper and stuff on. Well, luckily, the owner of the mobile junkyard stopped by, flipped the motor over for me, and just look at it. Just look at it. That sucker is pretty. But that's not our. That's not what we're doing today. Today, we are. We got to tell a little story. So this is the four-wheeler, and I've got it all apart. Yeah. So originally, I was told that it needed the carburetor cleaned, or carburetors. This is a 650, and if you're ever wondering, they're under there, and under there, and right there. So needless to say, those are clean. It actually wasn't as bad as what I thought. The other spark plug is like underneath this thing here. So if you're going to go ahead and do all the other stuff, just go ahead and switch out some plugs. Now I got it covered up with this. Due to the effect, I have all kind of crap just making dust all over the shop. So we want to keep the dust out of the carbies. Now what had happened, the reason why we're doing what we're doing to it today, well, let me just show you. This is part of the axle. Actually, this is all of the axle. I was going to show you guys how to remove it, but whenever you have help here and you can't really do things yourself, you kind of got to take advantage of it. So I'll get to that part here in a second. How I broke that axle is another story. So it actually comes back to that car there. Yep, the old 66 Mustang. So we decided we was going to bring that car in here using the four-wheeler. Why? Because it just sounded more gooder. And if you guys have ever seen this SS racing scrape down the side, you probably didn't see this on the trunk lid. So, long story shortened, hopefully, because apparently I ramble a lot. Anyway, I'm right there in front of the garage, and I'm going to let it kind of come down the driveway by its own weight, you know, and then we're going to switch it around and pull it through, right? So I'm letting it guide down through here. So I'm tied to it with a tow strap, a 5,000-pound tow strap. Yep. And the throttle I noticed was sticking prior to me even doing all this. Nonetheless, we'll just keep an eye on it. Worst mistake you can make. So, the throttle sticks going backwards, and that thing is really fast backwards, really fast. Like, yeah, it sends me up over the trunk, because instead of, like, you know, backing off the throttle and all this stuff, where I'm going backwards, apparently I just hammered it. And whenever I hammered it, I come up over, you know, the trunk, the quarter, down the side a little bit, and then on past the car. And then from on past the car, we got thrown into the side of a tree. Side first, not a big deal, just ribs. And then my shin. That's all true. You can't make these stories up. So if you ever see the SS racing scrape down the side and the trunk and all that, well, luckily for me, the four-wheeler stopped. But not only did it stop, it snapped the brand new, and this was brand new at the time, 5,000-pound strap at the end of its journey, you know? So the Mustang had stopped, it caught the four-wheeler going crazy, snapped it, but it also killed the power somehow to the four-wheeler. You know what? To me, that's a victory. I'm going to call it a victory, baby. But something had happened, I don't know what, and I snapped an axle. So there's that. And then I think I killed the fuel pump as well. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, let's get to this video. So, being that, you know, all of this is still the way it is, what I had done was you pushed in on the axle to remove it and then pulled it out real hard, and boom, there's your axle. Now there's a few more things you need to do, right? So I'm going to show you real quick. Tie rod in. Where's our, we need a persuader. Hold on, thought I had one sitting out here. Yep, I do. So this right here, please don't hit the threads. Do not hit the threads up like that. Not a good idea. And you just hit hard enough. See? You don't hit the threads. You will booger the threads. I saw somebody do that a while back, and I said, why are you doing it like that? And he said, well, it gets it off of there. And I was like, well, it does, but you're burgering your threads and your nut there and on your tie rod end. This is just for the removal, okay? Now there will be a cotter pin in here. There'll be a cotter pin in here. I did this just to speed this video up for you guys, since I knew I was going to ramble and tell a story. Somebody complained about it. Hey man, more worky, less talky. Dude, it's free. Chillax, bro. I always keep the nut on there just because if I slip and hit, you can booger up your threads. Not saying I've done it a million times, but I've done it at least once. There's one of the bearings that came from the axle originally. And let's just, there's the rest of it. And that was actually a good axle until I did that. It broke the squirrel cage. It did a number. For no more, you know. But I'm lucky that it just did that and probably killed the fuel pump. Make sure you keep your washers, okay? Now your bottom ball joint. In order to have enough room to do all this magic, you're gonna have to separate that one too. A lot of people use a pickle fork, but it cuts your boot. You don't need to use a pickle fork. Maybe it'll, nope. She's ragu, she's in there. So what you do then, you smack where it connects right here. Then nothing. Here in a second it'll let loose. See? She just let loose. Now this is the first I've ever seen this. All of these have washers on them. So I'm gonna say don't lose your washers. Then simply you can pry that down and boom, you got full access to put your axle in there and clean up all this grease from the previous one, right? Now, they say never use cotter pins. I don't really know why. They say they'll snap and all this, but anyway, to put your axle back in, make sure they're the same. Well, they're not, because, you know, that one has the front snout and this one don't. You just kind of line him up right there, and hopefully this goes in really good. Oh shoot. I don't know if anybody's had shoulder surgery or not, but if you have, the rotator surgery is like 12 times worse than the labrum. I'm not even kidding you. I can hardly do any darn thing without help. But I appreciate everybody that's helped me. I really appreciate it. Jade, Lily, Clayton, Mama, all of you that's helping me. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you checking on me too. So that really does mean something. But anyway, you gotta line up those teeth in there and then just shove him back, okay? You're probably gonna have to use a little bit of force because you use some force pulling it out of there. I don't know if I can do it. Let me see if I can do it real quick. Because if I can, it'll be great. I'm going to take a rubber mallet, get this thing straight. See if that don't click it in there. You'll know when it goes. There's a little safety ring in there that keeps it in there, or in theory it does. So get you one of them, and hopefully you guys can see that. I think we got them lined up. Hot diggity, do you see that? So score one for the good guys. Take your nut off of there. This might be a little tricky. So now we gotta, oh, okay, that's light. Okay, so then you just line that back up. Hopefully you guys can see it. Take that, thread this feller back through, and there she goes. Now you can take your jack and lift that back up, or you can take your pry bar and prime back. Dang it. Prime, yeah. Okay, so we're going to take a jack, since we're one-handed again, and we're going to push the ball joint back on. We're going to thread him on there. We're going to zip it all back down, and that's pretty easy enough. All you got to do after that is line it up, get you some new cotter pins, slide through there, bend them, and you have just installed an axle. And it wasn't that bad. So let me get another jack and we'll finish up this one, okay? Give me just a few minutes. All right guys, so I got the jack out of the way so you can see this. Now all we're going to do, we'll tighten this baby up, hopefully. Now what you're going to want to do is find, you see that right there where you can see through? That's where you want it. Same thing with the that one there. Hopefully we can get it pretty easily. Now make sure you're getting them tight. That's the important part. Yep, got that one. Now this one here is a bigger fella. Looks like 1.16". Now this is on a 03 Kawasaki 650 Prairie V-twin. Let's see how we didn't get it just aligned just right. Not yet. Almost. Almost. Right there. Maybe a little more. This is, we're gonna call that good. Can you guys see that? Hopefully. Maybe, maybe not. Well, it's lined up almost perfectly. You know, that line's straight through. So you're going to want a good fit and tighter, a good fitting cotter pin in there. And I had them set here, and guess what? I've kicked them all around, and I don't see any of them. Nope, they're gone. So that one actually has a, for multiple cotter pins, I'll be dipped. It really does. There's one that goes this way, one that goes this way. Who knew? All right, so I'm gonna grab some cotter pins. I'll show you guys how to bend them around and all that. All right, and then you throw your wheel on and you're done. Just a few minutes. All right, so we finally found some cotter pins, and just to show you, I mean, I really do have new ones. All you gotta do is really, you don't want them too long. If they are, just bend them back down to where they won't rub the rim or any kind of brakes. Or that goes for cars and for ATVs. These suckers, you know, if you aren't paying attention, you can bend them the wrong way and really cost yourself a little bit of aggravation. But you just bend them like so, boom, boom, and then you got the bigger guy up here. You might have to use something like this, and then just pat him down. He's got a cover that goes on him, keeps all that nastiness out of here. That one you can just kind of, if you can bend him down like that. All right, but bend them opposite ways, that way so if something crazy happens you can like say I bent them the other ways because that's the way Granddad always told me. And then you just put your this thing in here on it, your dust cover, throw your wheel back on him, and guys and gals, you've just installed your own four-wheeler axle. So that right there is not too tough. Hopefully, you guys, if you don't know how to do this stuff, you know, if that axle seems stuck to you and you have one of these, I promise you it pulls right out. Push in first and then pull back really quick and hard. Believe me, it can easily be pulled out. It's not that hard. If they get stuck in here, smack that with your deadbeat hammer, dead blow, you know, whatever. But you can smack it with a hammer, get them off of there. It's going to be absolutely fine. Your drain pan. You may want to get you a drain pan. Now that was from the 5.3 push rods and lifters. You're not going to have a whole lot leak. Check your level though. It should be, I don't even know where it's at on this, but either way, find out where to check it. There it is. So I'll show you where. Right there is your fuel plug. I'm pretty sure it's probably supposed to be at the bottom of the fuel plug. It's on your passenger side. Check it. Check your passenger side boot while you're here. See if you should have ordered 2 axles instead of 1. Looks like I'm good so far. So, good. Because I didn't order 2. Anyway, guys and gals, I hope that helps you out. That's, you know, pretty much it. And most of that stuff can even be used on your newer front-wheel drive cars. Pretty much the exact same procedure. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys. Keep on liking and subscribing. I appreciate it, and it's only going to get better. All right, we're going to start, let's see, I don't know what the next thing is yet. It may be on the Mustang and the 69 back there on some rust repair or body stuff, you know, that I have no idea on what I'm doing, because we have to save some money for some parts for that to go into that. All right, so thank you guys for watching, guys and gals. I appreciate you. It's only going to get better, so we'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. Y'all have a great weekend.